Hi, welcome to Astrology for Gann Traders. My name's Olga Morales, and I'm really happy to announce that I've recorded lesson 1 of the advanced level called Eclipsing the Stock Market. Now, here's W.D.Gann, a beautiful picture of him when he was really quite young, and the cover of his book, A Tunnel Through the Air. Now, I wonder how many of you have actually read this novel. People are coming to me wanting to learn astrology so they can decode Gann's encrypted novel, A Tunnel Through the Air. Now, he wrote this, he published it in 1927. It's almost 84 years now. Now, you know what happens every 84 years, I'm sure you do, so there's a big change about to happen. The book means, the other thing about it, he actually wrote it when he was 49, and if you look at his chart, you'll understand why he did that. Gann did nothing by chance. He planned everything according to cycles, everything he did. Even the numbers on the page numbers in Tunnel Through the Air gives you clues. So you need to be looking at those things. The other thing I put here are his dates of birth and death. Now, Gann actually died between two eclipses, and I wrote an article called Eclipse to Death. There was a lunar eclipse a day before his birthday in 1955, and the solar eclipse was on the 19th of June. So he died. He was sick and died in between two eclipses, and when you're looking at his chart, it's an amazing pattern. So I would imagine him being who he was, he actually knew that he'd be under very adverse aspects at that time. So I'll explain that in the lesson as for those who are at the advanced level. Now, eclipses in Tunnel Through the Air. Why did Gann start and end Tunnel Through the Air with indirect references to eclipses? For example, on page 1 we learn of Robert Gordon's eldest brother dying in the San Francisco earthquake. Now, we know there's a high correlation between eclipses and earthquakes, so there Gann is teaching you something there, obviously. And at the last page, Robert and Maria finally reunited and to wed on the day of a solar eclipse visible in New York. That's in 1932. Now, that is on the last page of Tunnel Through the Air. Now, it's funny because Gann always says if you've got the beginning, the right beginning, you'll be able to predict the future. But why put the eclipse on the last page? Maybe the last page is the beginning of something. You know, I have this image of the dragon with its tail and its mouth, symbolic of this cycle. Or Alpha Omega, there's no beginning or end, it's just a continuous cycle, so he knew about it. Now, let's have a look. Page 56 in Tunnel Through the Air is a page where Gann mentions directly to eclipses. If you read that page, hopefully you have got a copy of Tunnel Through the Air. You can get it from W.D.Gann. Now listen. Look at this. He goes, Robert understood this to mean that 2 great eclipses would occur in June 1927. So he's got a passage from the Bible, from Ezekiel, where he predicted terrible flooding on the Mississippi Valley. Now, during the lesson, you'll learn how Gann actually did that. I'll show you how he did that. And also, why page 56? Remember, Gann was a numerologist. Numbers were everything to him, so every page has, especially the numbers on the pages, are going to give you clues. Do you know that the actual circle on Stonehenge around the standing stones, there are actually another circle of 56 holes, and this was actually already an ancient eclipse calculator, so it's an old cycle. And if you know anything, if you've ever looked at Gann's financial timetable, you'll understand how it's all linked in. I have to actually tell you something that's really, I tell this story to a lot of people every time I talk about number 56. When I gave a lecture last year to the VAA, which is the Victorian Astrological Society, on this topic, eclipse in the stock market, and I had the 56-year cycle and I explained it all, you wouldn't believe it, but we always have a door prize for a raffle, and when I went to pick the ticket out for the lucky winner, guess what number came out? You guessed it, number 56. Now, I don't believe in coincidences, of course, everything's planned, and it was just an awe. It was one of those moments, everyone gasped in the audience, and we just looked at each other. It was one of those do-do-do-do moments, you know, the Twilight Zone. So, also, part of the lesson, you'll understand how he predicted again the Mississippi River flooding, and also how he traded cotton and stocks with eclipses. And now that you're stepping up, remember these lessons are progressive, so you're stepping up. We're going, remember that it's a prerequisite to move to this level that you have done the beginners and intermediate, and now we're stepping up to higher levels of understanding, and you'll be able to, you know, understand how the decoding works of the novel. So here I've just put these eclipses that he mentions on page 56. You can actually see these eclipses and what the reactions were. This is on the Dow. I don't have cotton data back then, but you can see how important it is looking at eclipses well, on your stock charts and commodities also. And there are a lot of little clues in the novel. Also, we will be looking at some of John Dro's work, because he actually worked for W.D.Gann, and he had a system using eclipses as well, which we need to know about. So please remember again that we need the beginners and intermediate levels before you can order the advanced levels, and I will send out notice exactly when they will be available. This lesson will be available, and thank you for listening.